What's going on, guys? My name is JayJiveCertified, and today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to talk about Black Ops 5. Now, it is believed that this November's installment of Call of Duty is going to be Black Ops 5. I don't remember if that's confirmed or not, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be. And today, I'm going to talk about Call of Duty Black Ops 5 Zombies, specifically. Now, World at War through Black Ops 3 was pretty much the same. Of course, each game added new things. There was a development in Easter egg complexity. There were new wonder weapons. There were new systems. Specialist weapons were introduced into Black Ops 3. But the perk system never really changed until Black Ops 4. And with Black Ops 4, they decided to completely change the perk system, and everyone hated it. It was probably one of the worst things Treyarch could have done, especially when you remove Jug from a Call of Duty Zombies game. That's not a good play. So today, I'm going to talk about how they should handle the Black Ops 5 perk system, because while I think the community wants the original perk system back, I think they still want that twist. They don't want it to be the exact same. So I think I've come up with a way to have the original system, but still have a twist. So let's talk about the basics. I think we should increase the perk limit from 4 to 5 perks. And the reason for this is every time I'm playing zombies, I always feel like I'm one perk off of what I would really want to have. And since they're really, I feel like the more we go on with the games, the more powerful we become. So I feel like if they could balance out the zombies themselves well, I think including a 5th perk would not be a problem at all, and I think it would be great. So here's what we're going to talk about: the twist in the actual perks. I'm going to include upgrade variants for each perks. Now, all perks have 3 different upgrade variants. Perk variants are unlocked per 25 uses of our particular perk. Upon using a perk 25 times, the player can choose between the 3 variants. Now, let's say you have used jugger-nog 25 times. It's going to offer you 3 variants. You choose the one you want to unlock. Next 25 uses, you've got 2 choices, and then the next 25 uses, you get the last one. So after 75 uses of the perk, you should have all 3 variants. Only one upgraded perk is allowed per game. Upgraded perk selected per game. So let's say I wanted Jug's first upgrade variant. That is the only upgrade variant perk I can have. The rest have to be their original version. Let's get on to talking about the perks themselves. Real quick, we are going to talk about the perk list, though. These are all the perks I think should be in Black Ops 5 Zombies. Jugger-nog, Speed Cola, Quick Revive, Double Tap 2.0, the original 3, Stamina, PhD Flopper, Deadshot Daiquiri, and Mule Kick, the Black Ops 1 walk-ins. Tombstone Soda, Who's Who, Electric Cherry, and Vulture, the Black Ops 2 walk-ins. Widow's Wine, the Black Ops 3 new perk. And then 2 perks that have not been in the game yet that I think should be in the game are Gravity and Banana Colada, and I will talk about what those do later on in the video. So we're going to start out with jugger-nog. Now, what jugger-nog does is it increases the player's health. The player's health doubles from 150 to 300. Now, in this system, I'm basically viewing it as 50 health points is a hit from the zombies. So basically, the player goes from 3 hits to dying to 6 hits. They have to be hit 6 times to die. Now, there are 3 variants. There's Tanker-nog, Jugger-jog, and Jugger-fog. Tanker-nog, player's health increases to 350. So instead of being at 306 hits, you have to take 7 hits, 350. Tanker-nog. Jugger-jog, player's speed is increased by 30% for 1 second when hit. So whenever a player is hit, their speed is increased by 30% for a short time. Jugger-fog. Upon downing for the first time after purchase, the player's health stays at 200, so that's 4 hits. If the player downs a second time and has not repurchased Jugger-fog, the player's health is stripped back to 150, 3 hits. Now we move on to Speed Cola. Speed Cola increases reload speed by 50%. It has 3 variants: Rush Cola, Quick Hands Cola, and Bleed Cola. Rush Cola increases reload speed by 75%. So instead of the 50%, you get a 75% increase in reload speed. Quick Hands Cola halves the time it takes to complete basic actions: crafting, purchasing, mystery box spins. So everything that you do that requires hands, that's kind of just a normal thing. And I think I will include stabbing in this. Basically, it takes half the time to do it. It's double speed. One thing I will say, reviving is not included in this list, and I'll explain why later. Bleed Cola, this is kind of a weird one, but I think it works sort of. Bleed Cola, body shots are worth 15 points. It's probably the weirdest variant I've had to come up with, but I think it's quite an interesting one, and it's kind of Speed Cola's way to make you a little more money. Quick Revive. So this has 2 different uses. Solo automatically revives the player after downing. You get 3 uses of this perk. In co-op, however, the player can revive other players at twice the speed. So same as the original Quick Revive. Variants: Quick Revive Deluxe, Quick Recover, and Slick Revive. Quick Revive Deluxe, all it does is, usually in solo, you get 3 uses of the Quick Revive machine. This gives you 4 uses. So that extra use can really come in handy if you're kind of new to the game, kind of figuring stuff out. That 4th use can definitely come in handy. Quick Recover. So this has 2 different uses, one for solo, one for co-op. In solo, the player is invulnerable for 10 seconds after being revived. So after after the game picks them up, they cannot be hurt for 10 seconds. In co-op, the player is invulnerable while reviving another player and for 5 seconds after, so that they've got some time to get out of there. Slick Revive, it's a co-op only. Player can revive other players at 3 times the speed instead of double. Then we have Double Tap 2.0. Doubles bullet damage and increases fire rate by 30%, same as it does in the older games. It has 3 variants, of course: Double Tap 3.0, Triple Tap, and Treble Tap. Double Tap 3.0 triples bullet damage instead of doubles it, so that's a lot of damage you're going to be doing with normal guns. Triple Tap increases fire rate by 50% instead of 30%, so you could just shoot a lot faster. Treble Tap. This is probably my most interesting one. All non-automatic weapons become automatic. So say you've got, I don't know, pick a gun, I don't know, KRM. We'll go with KRM, I guess. KRM is one where you got to shoot. You know, you can't just hold it down. With this one, if you have trouble tapping the KRM, hold down the button. It's an automatic KRM. I think that it can come in handy with a lot of certain weapons. Stamina Up. Double sprint endurance and increases movement speed by 7%. Same as it has always done. Oh, sorry. It has 3 variants: Staminace, Stamina Out, and Staminice. Staminace triples sprint endurance. So instead of being able to sprint for double the time, you sprint for 3 times the time, which can come in really, really handy. Stamina Out increases movement speed by 14% instead of 7%, and this causes you to go pretty darn fast. Staminice. Zombies go slower when near the player. So basically, whenever a zombie is kind of within a certain range of you, they kind of tend to go a little bit slower. So yeah, it kind of makes sense to put it with Stamina Up, since it's all about speed and, you know, may as well support the illusion of if the zombies are going slower, then you're going faster. So yeah, Staminice. Next we have PhD Flopper, the long requested perk that we kind of got in Black Ops 4, but we didn't care because it wasn't actually PhD Flopper. But yeah, PhD Flopper I think should come back. It's got a couple uses. Removes splash damage taken by the player, allows the player to switch between slide and flop. Upon flopping, nearby zombies take explosive damage. So basically, since the usual kind of, dive thing is the slide in Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, I think they should bring it back in Black Ops 5. I think they should actually give you an option between slide and flop. You kind of just switch it with a certain button or something, and whenever you flop, the zombies take explosive damage around you. It has 3 variants: PhD Slider, PhD Splasher, and PhD Blaster. PhD Slider, both flop and slide deal explosive damage to nearby zombies, so now you don't have to switch between flop and slide. You could just stay at slide, and slide is going to go, a lot faster, be a lot more convenient. PhD Splasher doubles splash damage. Now, let's say you got that ray gun, and that splash damage is kind of falling off. Just get PhD Splasher. It'll do double the damage. It'll be a lot better, that is. PhD Blaster, bullets deal splash damage as well. So basically, what PhD Blaster is going to do, for every bullet that comes out of your gun and it hits a zombie, it's going to take an increment of that damage and deal it to zombies around the zombie you hit with the bullet. So yeah, bullets have splash damage with PhD Blaster. Next, we have Deadshot Daiquiri. Iron sights automatically target enemy's sweet spot. Now, the reason I'm not saying headshot is because, zombies, of course, their sweet spot is their head that does the most damage. But if Treyarch decides to include other zombie types, other enemy types, and they have a particular sweet spot that isn't necessarily their head, Deadshot Daiquiri will automatically aim to that. It has 3 variants: Point Shot Daiquiri, Headshot Daiquiri, and Detect Shot Daiquiri. Point shot daiquiri, headshots are worth 130 points. So this is similar to Speed Cola. This is kind of just your random way to make more money with a random perk. So point shot daiquiri, headshots are worth 130 points instead of the usual 100. Headshot daiquiri increases a gun's headshot multiplier by 0.5 times whatever it was. So basically, well, kind of. I'll explain what this is. So basically, every gun has a damage multiplier for shooting a head. So let's say you've got a gun and it's going to deal, I don't know, 100 damage, but when you shoot their head, it's a 4 times headshot multiplier, so you're actually doing 400 damage to that zombie. What this is going to do is it's actually going to increase that multiplier by 0.5. So say you've got 4 times headshot multiplier, it's going to make it 4.5 times headshot multiplier, which means you'll be doing 450 damage per headshot rather than 400. Detect shot daiquiri. When detect shot mode is active, guns' crosshairs will automatically drift toward enemy sweet spots. So basically, when you're hip firing, your crosshairs are always going to be in the same place. However, if you toggle something, if you have detect shot daiquiri and you toggle something, it's going to turn on detect shot mode, and your crosshairs will automatically go towards enemy sweet spots so that you can just hip fire and let that thing go. Next we have Mule Kick. Gives the player a 3rd weapon slot. Pretty simple. It has 3 variants: Candelier Kick, Horse Kick, and Mule Punch. Candelier Kick increases all weapons max ammo count by 1 clip. This is kind of based on the old Candelier perk that was going to be in World at War, but they threw it out. So yeah, it's pretty simple. Horse Kick gives the player a 4th weapon slot because who couldn't use more weapons? Mule Punch. This is interesting. Upon downing for the first time after purchase, the player keeps their 3rd weapon. However, the player cannot trade out this weapon until Mule Punch is repurchased. If the player downs a 2nd time after purchase and has not repurchased the perk, the player loses their 3rd weapon slot. So I've heard this complaint: whenever you down, you lose your 3rd gun. It sucks, but if you have Mule Punch, you get to keep this weapon. You just can't really do much with it in terms of trading. But if you die again, then of course you lose it. Tombstone Soda. Now, this is the first perk that I've actually had to make significant changes to because the last version of Tombstone Soda was pretty bad and it wouldn't really work in a game like this. So I think this is a reasonable use of Tombstone Soda, makes it a really good perk now. Upon downing, Tombstone Soda goes away, but all other perks remain. So it's kind of just like an aftertaste of sorts, and I think it'll work if they bump up the price enough. It's got 3 variants: Tombstone Seltzer, Tombstone Liquor, and Tombstone Juice. Tombstone Seltzer. Upon purchasing, the player can select a perk they currently have to be permanent no matter what, so it can never go away. If the perk selected is Solo Quick Revive, it will disappear after limit uses, so 3 or 4. The perk can only be selected once. So say you buy Tombstone Seltzer and you pick jugger-nog. Jugger-nog can never go away. Now let's say you buy... What this is still going to do is if you had other perks other than jugger-nog, they will still remain if you had Tombstone Seltzer. The only reason you would want to purchase Tombstone Seltzer again is if you wanted to protect your other perks from going away. However, if you buy it again, you cannot choose a different perk to be permanent. Only Jug will always be the permanent perk. Tombstone Liquor. In co-op, this is a co-op only variant. Upon bleeding out, spawn back in with all perks. So let's say you down with Tombstone Liquor, you bleed out completely, and you come back and you still have all of your perks. Not all your weapons or stuff, but just all your perks. Tombstone Juice. Upon purchasing, the player can select 2 perks that they currently have to be permanent no matter what. However, upon downing, the player will only keep these 2 perks. Now, Tombstone Juice is really going to be one of those perks that you only buy once, select, say, I don't know, jugger-nog and Speed Cola, and then really never buy it again because you have just made those 2 perks permanent. No other perks will come back, but those 2 will always stick around, and I think that is a willing sacrifice to make. Next, you have Who's Who. This is the other perk that I had to make significant changes to make it fit into this game, but I think this is going to be a very interesting thing. Upon purchasing, a clone of yourself will spawn to help you out. Clone by default has unlimited health and purchases the nearest wall weapons. Upon reaching round 15, the clone's weapons become Pack-a-Punch. Now, some of you, I hear you saying, wait, how the heck are you going to have a clone? That's going to be really finicky. Well, keep in mind, in Black Ops 4, they did manage to create a bot system. They would simply have to bring this back whenever you drink Who's Who. A clone of yourself spawns. He's basically just a bot who has unlimited health, buys random wall weapons, and shoots away. It has 3 variants: Choose Who, Fuse Who, and Bruise Who. Choose Who. Upon downing, you are given the choice between reviving or taking the body of your clone. The clone is inactive and ignored by zombies during the time in which you are to choose. In solo, if the player downs without quick revive, they automatically become the clone. So this is kind of your insurance. Or in co-op, no, it's really insurance. Because if you down in co-op and you get really red and the other player can't revive you, simply toggle the choose who, spawn into the body of your clone where it is, and keep playing the game without bleeding out. I think it's a pretty good variant. Fuse who. Zombies take electrical damage upon hitting your clone. Now, zombies can't hit your clone can't die unless you lose who's who or whatever. But if the zombies do happen to hit your clone, they'll be electrocuted, maybe stunned a little, but yeah, that's what Fuse Who does. Then we have Bruise Who, which I think is probably one of the best variants. The wall weapons which your clone purchases are automatically pack-a-punched. Upon reaching round 15, the weapons are given a random double pack-a-punch ability. So if you didn't have this, your clone would never have double-packed guns, but with Bruise Who, upon reaching round 15, he has 2 double-packed guns. Next, we have Electric Cherry. Whilst reloading, the player deals electric damage to nearby zombies, stunning them momentarily. It's always done this. This is nothing new. Variants: Radioactive Cherry, Electric Cherry Bomb, and Taser Cherry. Now, Radioactive Cherry, the player has a constant aura around them that deals damage to zombies in range. So if zombies come near enough to the player, they'll start taking damage over time, and they might even die, but that's really just kind of like an extension of Electric Cherry. Keep in mind, it still does the reload thing, but this is kind of an added bonus. Electric Cherry Bomb. Whilst reloading, the player also meaning like also with the electricity thing, releases an explosion that damages nearby zombies, similar to the PhD Flopper explosion. Next, we have Taser Cherry. Zombies are stunned for an instant when damaged by weapons. So what this kind of does, it's kind of like when you see in games they have a knockback ability. This is basically your knockback ability. It's going to slow the zombies down a little whenever you shoot them, and I think that'll come in really handy in certain situations. Vulture Aid. Okay, this is a doozy, but this is what it's always done. Allows the player to see perks, wall weapons, and mystery box through walls, and also causes certain zombies to drop one of 3 things upon death. Ammo drop, equivalent to about 10% of the current weapon's magazine size. Point drop, between 5 and 10 points. Or a green mist, which, when entered, causes the zombies to ignore the player. It's always what it's done. It sounds complicated, but it's basically just the old Vulture Aid. It has 3 variants: Vulture Reach, Vulture Air, and Vulture Aim. This is coming up is probably one of the coolest variants of a perk ever. Vulture Reach allows the player to purchase perks, wall weapons, and mystery box through the wall. So let's say you see that jugger-nog thing through the wall using Vulture Aid. Basically, you can toggle something that will cause you to purchase jugger-nog through the wall. You don't have to run over there and get it yourself. You could just purchase it right through the wall. I think it's great. And I think it's balanced, too. I don't think that's too overpowered. Vulture Air, the green mist drop is more frequent. Pretty simple. Vulture Aim. Ammo and point drops are worth twice what they usually are. So 10 to 40 points for the point drops and 20% of a weapons magazine for ammo drops, and appear much more frequently. Next, we have Widow's Wine from Black Ops 3. Quadruples knife damage and replaces grenades with 4 web grenades. Web grenades can be thrown to explode and web zombies for 20 seconds, or, if the player is hit, will discharge and web nearby zombies for 20 seconds. It's always done this. This is nothing new. It has 3 variants: Whittler's Wine, Widow's Whiskey, and Widow's White Wine. Whittler's Wine, 8 times the knife damage. So instead of 4 times the knife damage, you have 8 times the knife damage, which means you can one knife zombies far later into the rounds. Widow's Whiskey. Rev grenade limit is increased to 5. So say you're hit by the zombies 4 times and the grenades discharge, you still have got 1 more hit for them to hit you and that to go off. So I think it's a pretty good investment. Then you have Widow's White Wine. Zombies remain webbed for 30 seconds instead of 20 seconds. So just to buy you a little more time. This is where we go into the 2 new perks that I think Treyarch should put into their game. This is Gravity. This is my own invention. doubles the player's jump height. So instead of jumping a certain distance, they jump twice that. I don't think it's overpowered as long as Treyarch handles it correctly. It's got 3 variants: zero gravity, anti-gravity, and meteor gravity. Zero gravity triples the player's jump height. You jump 3 times the height instead of 2. You know, that's pretty. Anti-gravity, the player experiences a moon-like anti-gravity feeling when jumping. So basically, the jump is slowed down, kind of like in Moon, like if you've played that. Meteor gravity. Okay, this is a weird one, but I think it can be handled well. The player is given an ability bar that fills up over time. So a timer is set, fills up over time. Once the bar is full, the next jump, once completed, will cause a big explosion around the player. So they jump, they fall, and boom, kind of like a PhD flopper thing, but probably a little better because it needs an ability bar. Now, this is not my creation. This is just something I think is popular enough. I mean, the Z-House kind of considers it a main perk when you watch their videos, but I think this should be put into a game for finally. It's an invention of Mad Gaz. You should definitely go check the guy out. But yeah, upon sliding, the player leaves a slippery trail behind them that, when zombies step on it, they slip and take damage. Much like Slickofire, only one trail can exist at a time. So it's basically like sliding and then leaving like a Slickofire trail behind you. It's pretty cool. It has 3 variants: banana mocha, banana cola, and banana cocktail. Banana mocha. 3 trails can exist at a time instead of 1, so that you can go slip, 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 and all the trails will be there instead of just the 1. Banana cola. The player slides twice as fast and twice as far, so you've got longer trails and the trails appear faster, but also you're just being able to slide better. Banana cocktail. Trails are 50% wider and do 50% more damage, so that's more area for zombies to step on, and it does more damage to them when they do. Anyway, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Treyarch, I doubt you'll watch this video, but if you do, please consider the ideas that I've put into this video. I think the community would love them. I personally would love them, and I think it's a good way to bring back that original perk system that we all know and love, but still add a twist that's going to make it a little more variable and give us a little more choice. Anyways, guys, have a great day, and this is Jay out.